going to be part 2, using the MIDI mates to control the damage control timelines. We left off right at, we just written that swell sound to channel 63. So we're going to go into naming the patches. Now it's really important to know that when you name the patches, you're not naming the actual sound that's in the patches on the timeline and that we're calling up via the MIDI mate. We're naming the spot on the MIDI mate that it's calling up. So this is a swell right now, but if I write it over to channel 64 here, okay, now we're going to have the same sound on both channels. Okay. Alright, same sound on both channels, but the titles are different. And then a side note, you'll notice that one of the cool things with the timeline is that if you switch MIDI, it doesn't have spillover if you want a clean break. So you need that, but then if you need spillover, you just use the timeline. So you've still got spillover, and you can actually be, you know, playing. While it's still spilling over. Really nice. And then if you want a clean break, you just switch MIDI or re-hit the MIDI. So re-hitting the MIDI resets it. If we've got no sound from the guitar, it'll totally turn it off. Alright, that's just a little side note. But when we wrote it, okay, now we've got the same sound, but this didn't follow. So you're actually writing it to the spot on the MIDI mate, not the sound on the timeline. If we want to change this, because it's not whatever I wrote that as, looks like I had chorus analog mixed with reverb, where you hit second and then scroll through these till you get to title edit, right? Now when you're on title edit, now you use these as the spot for your cursor, this for your letters, so this is like a medium type swell, so you name it that way. I won't go through and do the whole thing, but you get the idea. And then once you're in it, then you use these to go through all the different different channels or different patches and what they're named. So this right now is a medium swell as well, so we'd want to change that to medium swell also, and then second is out. So that's what that's how you would name the patches, and you name them on the MIDI mate there. So that we did MIDI channels in the last video due to titles. Controller assigned. This is a really cool one because you can actually use a expression pedal to control any parameter that you like on here. So I have my expression pedal hooked up to this MIDI mate, which is controlling that timeline. So we're going to use that one, and I'll show you how to do that. Let's take this timeline over here back to a nice neutral setting. Switch the pickup. Alright, so you hear neutral delay setting there, and then let's use this timeline. Okay, I think we had it on kind of like a dotted setting. Okay, nice delay sound there. So you take second, right? Okay, and then you get to controller assign. Right, and you got to have some type of expression pedal hooked up to the MIDI mate. Okay, now we're on patch 120, and you just set the pedal to whatever number controls what parameter you want, which is listed in the timeline's manual. So let's say we want to control something that we'll be able to hear really well what it does. Let's say we want to control, well, let's do repeats. That says it'll be 21. We'll control repeats. So it's off right now. We're going to put it to 20. 1. There we go. That should control repeats now. Hit second to turn it off, and then we got to write it, okay, to where it was. Alright, now repeats should be controlled with this. So now we got repeats controlled with this. And you can control any parameter you like with that. So we could control, let's see, it says we can control mix. Channel set would be on 17. So let's go back to control and go to channel 17. Alright, so now that is controlling, haven't written it yet, but it should be controlling the mix. Okay, we'll activate it. Yep. So then with 128 presets, you can also write, you know, the same patch like 10 times with the control pedal, controlling something different.